adventure with Gordy. We drive the Panda. It's not the most comfortable car for a big dog, but it's a great car and I love it, and I wanted to take it on a little adventure and see what it can do. So the Panda has a lot to it.
As usual, when driving through Sicily, we pass by ruins of various ages on both sides of the little road. Weeds grow tall on either side.
I don't know what's up that way. Maybe someday we'll have to go check it out.
In the spring, these weeds are full of various colors of wildflowers, and it is absolutely beautiful, and there are butterflies everywhere. This is a pilgrimage route that takes you to the Santuario Maria SS Matterdonai that is directly on the coast of Sicily. Earlier this year, I filmed the Santuario both with my camera on the ground and I flew my drone. And the field next to it was full of poppies and daisies. The explosion of reds and yellows with the Santuario and Mount Etna in the background were just spectacular. You should definitely go and check out that video. I lived in Sicily for 11 years before I knew this was here. A friend of mine, Eleonora, she took me for a walk in this area, and we parked the Jeep in Brooklyn and we walked. We walked along the river on a footpath, and she showed me some caves where it is said that people hid during World War II during the bombings. Eleonora took me up over the hill and along the road that we are driving along now, and we walked all the way to the Santuario. She told me how her father had used to take her on these walks when she was a girl. When I was with her, we went inside, and I did film the inside of the sanctuary. Again, you'll find that footage in another video. The oldest part of the church is actually in a cave, and they still use the original cave space as an oratory. Just past the sanctuary is a beach known as Spiaggia di Sera. Sera is spelled with a G in case you want to look it up. From the parking area at the beach, there is an entrance to the trails on which you can take your 4x4 or your mountain bike, or you can just walk.
We are in Sicily, on the coast, north of the fishing village of Rucoli. We are south of Catania. That's Etna over there. I am taking my dog Gordy out for a walk. I'm going this late in the afternoon because the moonrise is going to be about an hour, and so I'd like to find a nice little vantage point to film that. I was planning on making this part of the road in the Panda, and the Panda could have handled this road, except that the entrance was a bit washed out and steep, and I wasn't sure that Panda had the clearance to make it. I can definitely do it in my Jeep, and I will come back again sometime in the Jeep and at least drive all the way up to the Tonnara that we see over there. Earlier we encountered, as I was parking the car and getting my bag prepared to make the hike, and I hear this meow, meow, and this absolutely beautiful little kitten came up, and she was begging. I gave her some of Gordy's snacks. I had to crush them to make them easier for her to eat. Look at her. She's so hungry. What a beautiful cat. Another reason I should have brought the Jeep. I carry food for stray animals around in that car with me, because I always encounter them, and it helps ease the pain of not bundling them up and taking care of them and bringing them home and loving them forever. If I can ease the pain in their little tummies for at least one day. Period. I cannot find a better place to put my microphone than my hat. Everywhere else I'm worried that it will pop off, or I'll lose it and won't notice it, or it'll rustle against my clothing. Do you always manage to do that? I think your collar's too big.
There's not much left to this old Tonnara. These ruins along the coast are every few miles, everywhere in Sicily. Some of them are quite famous, like Tonnara di Scopello. I suspect there's actually more Tonnaras that are not listed on any maps.
According to Google Maps, this was a Tonnara.
I've found places along the rocky areas in the coast where the rock is just too square and the openings are just too perfect. And of course there's remnants of stairs.
Tonnara is a tuna processing plant. Sorry, my tongue's not working that great today. Oh, look, you can see the fossilized brain coral here. This is cool. Gotta get that.
That was my love, my husband, and the one who makes all of this possible for me that just called. Biggest fan and supporter and technician, and without him, I wouldn't be making any of these videos for y'all. It almost looked like there was a little footpath going down here, but it isn't. It's probably just a waterfall that only runs when it rains really hard.
What are they doing? Or what is he doing, I guess I should say. It looks like it's just one person. Some kind of fishing technique? Hope it's legal.
Unfortunately, my microphone isn't picking up the sound of the fisherman knocking on something as he is slowly going in a circle. Obviously, I have no fear of heights, and I realize that I am standing on a bit of an outcropping here, and I did test the ground before I stood on it, and I'm aware that I could still fall, but I'm pretty sure that my reflexes are good enough and that I would notice if the way the ground felt underneath me changed and I would have time to come back. I do, however, want to keep my dog a little further from the edge than I myself am standing. He's still young and he is still kind of clumsy. It's really cute. But it still mildly terrifies me when he gets too close to these crumbly edges. Here we find this lovely patch of pale pink lily-like blossoms blooming in autumn, and they are just glowing in the sunlight. In particular, I wanted to get this shot with Etna receding in the background. These little drowned holes of weeds, they remind me of terrariums, and they're kind of fascinating. There's hundreds of them, and they're perfectly round. This was one of the larger ones.
I'm nearly blinded by the glare off the water, but that will change drastically here as soon as the sun lowers a little bit. No telling what kind of sunset we're going to have. There's a ruined structure up here at the top. I was planning on flying the drone up out of that. Because you know me, I like my sunset drone flights. I forgot my glasses, my reading glasses, which help a lot when I'm flying the drone, because I use the controller to see where I'm going. So hopefully I don't lose my drone. I'll have to find a good spot. That'll have to serve as a home place in case the drone needs to return automatically again, like it did the last time I went out and flew. I don't plan to fly it far away, and hopefully I can remember not to dip down too low and lose my signal. This is about as far as we're gonna go. Someday I want to continue all the way on and go across that valley there. No, Gordon, no, stay. We're gonna stay here, and I want to go down to that little beach. It won't be hard, but I set out late today because I wanted to film the sunrise, or film the moonrise. And I have class tonight, so I can't wear myself out too much. Alright, so I'm gonna set up.
Once we get to the spot where I intend to launch the drone, it takes me several minutes to set up. Luckily, Gordon is patient, and the occasional treat keeps him close. I don't even have to call his name, not even once, this whole time. My husband got me this great new bag for just these sorts of adventures. It is
Are you thirsty, boo?
perfect. I'm really loving it. Thanks, honey.
It's only one good flat spot, and that's right where the camera is.
home point has been updated. Please check it on the map. Take off. The home point has been updated. Please check it on the map. Finally, we get up and away. I get a good look at what I'm standing on looks like from the air before I take off, because I forgot my glasses and I might need to reorient myself in a little while. Things you'll notice as we head out towards the coast is that there is a heart drawn out of stones. Half the heart is empty and half of the heart is full. It's right down there on the hillside. As we move a little further along, the coastline changes from cliffs into a narrow, rocky beach. That area down there that looks like a collapsed chickie is known as the cabana, and it's a shelter. I think it's based on a ruin, but it has been augmented by people over the years that like to hang out there, especially in the summertime. But it's public access, and you can get there by foot, or you can pull up in a kayak if you like. And it is on my to-do list. For flying the drone over here, I had no idea it even existed. But it's right there on Google Maps. The cabana. The beach is part of the gated community. One is not prevented from accessing it by the water, say with a kayak or a paddleboard. And you can also hike in. Remember that the amphitheater and the park area are part of the gated community, and it would be a good idea to respect their privacy and their property. I do go here. I will stick to the beach. It is the golden hour as we approach sunset, and our lighting is constantly changing. I like to film at this time of day because the videos are richer in color, they're less washed out, and the shadows are well defined, and I don't need to do any editing. I notice lots of curious things like this square formation of trees, and I wonder if there's something significant in its center. And then I look further on towards the horizon, and you can see mostly just farms. It's about that abandoned house, and that new construction next to it is not on Google Maps, so I don't know what it is. And though I want to respect the private property of other people, I also want to go check out that ruined house, if I am allowed. Admittedly, I'm also very curious as to what they are building there. It looks big. The flatland is covered with farms, and yet this capo is left wild. I noticed it when I was flying because of the missing glasses, but that looks like a semi-buried bunker up there on the hill. We're going to go check that out someday. In fact, I'm going to try to drive right up to it if possible. It looks like there are trails all over this hill. Landing.
Careful, don't step on the bug.
In the second part of this video, we're going to hike back down to the Tonnara, and we're going to film, both with the drone and the Insta360, the moonrise, the full moonrise over the ocean. It's going to be gorgeous. Don't miss it. Thank you for watching. Ciao.